Just this week, a congressman is reporting being run off the road by someone waving a Palestinian flag at him. Listen to what he says happened.
As I was driving to work, some unhinged, deranged man decided to lay on his horn and run me off the road when he couldn't get my attention to show me a Palestinian flag. Not to mention death to Israel, death to me, that he wanted to kill me and my family.
That's GOP Representative Max Miller speaking there. He says he has made a police report as well. This happened, though, in the wake of the politically motivated murder of a Minnesota legislator and her husband and the attempted murder of a Minnesota senator and his wife. What must be done to deal with this political violence?
Sarah, we have to have zero tolerance for any political violence in the United States of America. That requires everybody from all parties to make it clear that they will speak out in the aftermath of this kind of effort. I also do believe that, we do need to increase security. We had a Senate meeting, bipartisan Senate meeting just last week to discuss additional security measures. So I think a combination of absolute unified zero tolerance, but also increased security measures.
Do you think that you'll get those security measures put in place? I know there was a bit of pushback, and some of your Republican colleagues have said, yes, they want it. Others have been a little weary of adding that into a budget.
Well, I think we need to provide the security that's necessary in order to make sure that we can, identify and respond to any of these threats. I mean, threats are coming in every day through various forums, email, Senate switchboard. So I do think it's important that we have a more cohesive plan to respond to all of this, both in terms of Congress, but also, as we just saw in Minnesota. I mean, there are other legislators and other political officials and other Americans who are subjected to this kind of political violence. And so we need a better strategy to address it.
All right, Senator Chris Van Hollen, thank you so much for taking the time with us this morning. I appreciate your time.
The Minnesota lawmaker and his wife, who were shot in their home last weekend, are sharing new details of that harrowing attack. In a joint statement, Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette write, "When the door was open, all three of us were in the entryway. John initially lunged at the gunman as the weapon was pointed directly at him, getting struck 9 times. As John fell, Yvette reached out to push the man and shut the door, succeeding before she was also hit 8 times by gunfire." Now, it comes as politicians of all stripes now seem to regularly confront episodes of attempted violence. Just yesterday, Republican Congressman Max Miller shared details of being run off the road by a driver saying, quote, "Debt to Israel, debt to me."
If you have an issue with a legislator, your city councilman, your mayor, anyone like that, the appropriate thing to do is to reach out to them for a phone call to set up a meeting at one of our district offices. What is not okay is to assault anyone, whether you're a member of Congress or anybody else within our district, while you are driving to work.
A man in Ohio has been arrested and charged after allegedly threatening Miller. My panel is back. I mean, this is something that we've seen this uptick and men in the recent years. Just look at the Capitol Hill Police threat assessment cases against members of Congress, families, and staff from 2017 until now, going up from 3,900 threats, which is still a significant amount, until through 2024, 9,400. This is the state of our politics.
It's the state of our politics. I mean, it reminds me of Susan Collins in 2022. She essentially said she wouldn't be surprised if a member of the House or Senate was killed. We, of course, have seen that happen with these Minnesota lawmakers and her husband. And it doesn't seem like there is any end in sight. I mean, I think one of the terrible side effects of this, or something that we've seen develop, is some lawmakers themselves don't seem to take it seriously. You think about Senator Mike Lee's reaction to what happened in Minnesota. It was sort of a joke to him. and apparently he was confronted about it. But listen,
Deleted those posts eventually.
yeah, and deleted the post. But the fact that he felt like he could do that, he should do that. There is, I think, an environment of callousness that exists now that makes this even worse.
How concerned? I mean, look at some of the members telling us the last couple of days. Congressman Tim Burchett said, "I don't want to go to one of my colleagues' funerals because I didn't speak up." Derek Van Orden of Wisconsin said, "United States House of Representatives cannot protect my family. I will. Period." There's real fear.
We have a long history of political violence in this country. Sadly, I remember in 1998 there was a shooting in Capitol. I've seen them talk samurai swords out of people's hands at the Capitol. I've seen everything. I mean, but what you see now is rank and file members. It used to be leaders, presidents, of course, and national leaders. They attracted this attention. Now you have rank and file members of Congress. Max Miller driving down the road. I was talking to Pramila Jayapal, a Democrat from Washington. Our man came to her house. She had to move.
Right.
She moved. I mean, like, what's happening is, and what's the answer? Do we secure members, every 535 members of Congress with high-level security, and wall them off further from the American public? But the pandemic did this.
Yeah.
January 6th did this. I mean, it's getting worse and worse and worse.
It's really tricky to do that. I mean, just yesterday, a Memphis man was charged with attempting kidnapping after allegedly trespassing at the mayor's home.
And we've also seen it with Supreme Court justices.
Supreme Court
Well,
justices
we used
coming to their
not
homes.
know what Supreme Court justices looked like, and now they are, kind of given the same treatment that, as you said, these members of the House who were not recognizable either. I mean, I think we just exist in an incredibly politically toxic time. Now we're really seeing so much of that playing out in an aggressive way that's beyond rhetoric.
Well, new this morning, a Memphis man is set to be arraigned after police say he visited the mayor's home with a taser, gloves, rope, and duct tape. Trenton Abston is charged with attempted kidnapping, stalking, and trespassing. Police say he visited the home of Mayor Paul Young Sunday night because he allegedly wanted to talk about crime in the city. This, of course, is just the latest in a string of really troubling incidents involving elected officials, and they're sparking these urgent conversations about the security of our public servants. CNN's Tom Foreman is with us in the Situation Room now. Really disturbing stuff, and the mayor and his family were home when this happened.
Yeah, and this seemed, and again, yet another incident like this.
Yeah.
They apparently authorities have video here from outside, security video that shows this guy scaling a wall and just going straight for the mayor's front door. In this case, the mayor had a Ring camera on his front door, and he saw the guy standing out there with his hoodie on, according to their testimony, and just seeming nervous and odd, and the mayor didn't open the door and call the police. But yeah, duct tape, hoodie, gloves, a taser, that's what the police are saying this guy had there. So what this all adds up to, we don't know, but obviously you open your door, you see something like that outside your door, it's very alarming.
Yeah, very alarming. And you also had this other scary incident involving a Republican congressman.
Yeah, we don't know much about this at this moment. Max Miller, congressman from Ohio, he's saying basically he was confronted on the roadway. We have just learned that there has been an arrest in this. We don't know much beyond that, but authorities have arrested somebody, and presumably there'll be charges following. Listen to what he says about what happened.
As I was driving to work, some unhinged, deranged man decided to lay on his horn and run me off the road when he couldn't get my attention to show me a Palestinian flag. Not to mention death to Israel, death to me, that he wanted to kill me and my family.
Again, we don't really know much beyond what he has said there, so we'll find some facts as it moves forward. Authorities will find them and share them with them, I'm sure.
Right, and we're also getting some new information out of Minnesota, right, where there were the horrific shootings there.
Unbelievable, the details we're getting out of the hospital from these folks here. It really is remarkable. Senator John Hoffman and his wife, Yvette, they're talking about the night they were shot, which was the same night that Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark, were killed. What they are saying now is that they went to their door at 2 in the morning. They hear this pounding on the door. They say they went to the door with their adult daughter, Hope, who was with them off also. They saw, according to them, this gunman at the door who shot John Hoffman 9 times. His wife, Yvette, was pushing the gunman out the door as he shot her 8 times. She got him out the door, The daughter, Hope, locked the door and called 911 and got help to the house. Remarkable that these people survived this and made it through. They're in serious conditions, big deal in the hospital for them, obviously. But the fact that this family was able to do that at 2 in the morning out of a dead sleep, absolutely remarkable. And you know, when you put it into the context of everything we're looking at these days, it's really something. A statement from the Hoffmans from the hospital came out in which they said, we are grappling with the reality that we live in a world where public service carries such risks as being targeted because someone disagrees with you or doesn't like what you stand for. As a society, as a nation, as a community, we must work together to return to a level of civility that allows us all to live peacefully. The future for our children depends on that. And this is against a backdrop of last year, the U.S. Capitol Police investigating 9,000 cases of threats against lawmakers, an 83% increase over previous years.